Assassin leading the way, very closely followed by Romantic on the gyrocopter. And again, quite closely followed by Barely Bear Manon up in the top lane. Jungle Darkseer does appear to be hitting some snags. He's not on much health or much mana.
And again, with not pulling him any regen again, he's only got that one salve, that one clarity. It's a decision on
looks
what
like
to waste it on. He's probably going to stack.
Looks like he's going to be attempting to stack this camp, and he managed to catch like 2 critical strikes from the wolves just for poking his head in. Good grief.
Players here.
Emerald not having
Branimal
too hard
throwing
a
the
time
illusory orb around.
What
was that, sorry?
I thought Emerald might have a harder time on the clock up in this top lane.
Nope.
With Rubik out there pulling, etc., he's got a pretty easy time.
Yeah, they're not taking too much aggression to the clockwork. Throwing that rocket out, he knows the pull's happening, trying to get some last hits. It didn't quite turn out for him. But, yeah, they seem quite content to let the clockwork get a little bit of experience, so not too sure about that. Meanwhile, we've got Salty Pete pulling 3 stacks of neutrals into the lane, and that does have the Alpha Wolf, so they're surely going to... Oh dear. Oh dear, he only got the ranged creep to actually follow them into the camp. It's a bit difficult when that tree isn't cut down, but the way it goes, I suppose. He is getting some sentries couriered out to him, so we're going to see a bit of dewarding going on here. Of course, he's going to need... he is going to need... How are you meant to pronounce that? Quetzalcoatl. He's going to need to borrow his ranged attack to come and help him actually destroy the wards.
Might be easy to just call him Quetz. A little bit of a mouthful.
Hawkeye pretty on top of the rune situation. Alrighty.
Both mids have
Fairly passive lanes, really. Most seem content to sort of just sit there farming. And this Romantic on the gyrocopter does actually have a level advantage over Framinal on the Puck. So Puck not really getting all that much out of the long lane, especially our Salty Pete's managed to pull off a very nice pull into the neutral camp here. And of course, when that's happening, it is quite difficult to get experience when all of it's sort of going into the neutral camps like that.
It looks like Ascension's hanging a lot on this gyro. They've pulled in the regen, they're pulling the camps, they're really trying to give him as much farm as possible. And you see a lot in some of the higher tier games lately. Gyro can just get out of control. With
Absolutely. Having 100% splash damage in 1,000 range is certainly nothing to turn your nose up at, and he's demonstrating just now how quickly that can be leveraged, forcing Puck right back out of the lane. Opting to go for no levels of homing missile. He knows that a homing missile is going to be hard to catch a Puck with. Oh dear, Amriel getting a little bit caught out of position here. We've got the Telekinesis. Wasteless running in with the Iron Shell. Oh dear, Telekinesis is not quite good. We've got Barely Bear Manon throwing the Warcry to run around. Amriel is going to run down the top rune. Going to make it out there.
Invisibility.
Was a bit of a rotation.
Bear Manon getting... Yeah, Bear Manon just a little bit far out. Couldn't get there to throw the Stormhammer at him.
Got lucky once again. Rotation mid, Quetz with an Invis rune.
Oh, yep, I didn't spot that. Oh, I missed that magnificently. Hawkeye getting a little bit aggressive on Spectral, very nicely throwing that spill damage around. Quetzal revealing himself, throws down the disruption. We got the Soul Catcher as well. Burrow Strike from Salty Pete. Unfortunately, Refraction sort of ate up a lot of their big damage there.
Good timing with all those the stuns and the Burrow Strike, but yeah, as you said, the Refraction just eating up that damage, and none of them really dishing out that much damage at this low level either. Nice attempt, but
yeah, like Spectral's got level 3 Shockwave, Salty Pete's got level 2 Burrow Strike, so those are both big damage, but they are just one tick of, one instance of damage, which Templar Assassin really does laugh off. I'm not 100% sure about Spectral Pete's skill build with Magnus. He's gotten an early level of Empower, and I don't really like that. I think he'd be much better served with a second level in Skewer, just getting a little bit of extra range on it.
King's coming out here. Quetz has rotated to the top lane there.
He's absolutely been spotted by Alex. Alex throwing down an Observer and a Sentry there. Nice little Bane wards. Oh, Wasteless running in as well. Quetzal throwing down the Disruption and the Soul Catcher, getting Telekinesis up. Wasteless is right there. Quetzal has no boots, getting vacuumed back. Stormhammer catches him. Wasteless going to get the first blood very nicely. Intel running in to help, and all that's going to do is make him catch a couple of spikes from the Ion Shell.
Dire's mid tower's having technical difficulties.
Quetzal possibly getting a little bit too enthusiastic with that one, but
He came through to place this ward, but perhaps a little bit out of position there, and they had vision quite easily.
Well, at least he did get the ward down, and at least it is out of the sentry ward radius, so yeah, I wouldn't say not a complete loss, but you know, silver lining and all that. Meanwhile, Quetzal and Pete have just sort of started roaming and stacking. Oh no, they're not going to stack the easy camp, they're just coming into the middle lane. Hawkeye activating the regen. Got the Disruption coming out, Spectral getting into position to skewer back through the Burrow Strike. Soul Catchers hit Hawkeye. Unfortunately, Refraction was cooled down, goes back down again. Hawkeye is barely taking any damage from this, and Spectral is actually taking a flogging. That was just a single attack from the Templar Assassin. So they're really, really having a hard time dealing with this Templar Assassin. That's the second time that they've gone in with a gank attempt, and Templar Assassin has really just sort of shrugged it off.
They are trying to shut her down. I mean, obviously Gyro's still got the better farm up down on that lane, but both Templar Assassin and Darkseer having that jungle farm are sitting a bit ahead of the game in terms of the last hit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of farm happening on Romantic here on the Gyro. What's your opinion on the Poor Man's Shield on the Gyro? I know that it's in his recommended items, but as far as items that you would say a Gyrocopter should get throughout the course of the game,
not particularly in the lane he's had up against the puck. Probably not really getting harassed at all because he's had that baby the entire time. I don't know if he really needed it. Possibly a little
Radiant's
bit of
mid tower's coming apart.
Perhaps feeling threatened and trying to play it safe, worried about CA gank coming out, but she's not even looking at bottom lane. Trouble up over the
and
roof
he did
now.
have those two the two slippers, but I mean the damage block on that is only 10, which is sort of really barely anything. Like Templar Assassin's whole bit is coating her blades in the extra 80 damage, so yeah, not sure that I would advocate that, but he's certainly got a lot of money to play with.
Like I said, the teams are best of one. They only have one chance to get through to the top 16 of this tournament, so it's likely they are not wanting to give away any mistake, any slip up. It might just be a nervous thing.
That's true as well.
Spectral's just run out of his double damage rune in the middle there, couldn't really use it to do anything interesting.
Yeah, he managed to grab it and get a couple of attacks off on the Templar Assassin right after he grabbed it. Unfortunately, again, Refraction really just... Oh dear, we got a Disruption and a Soul Catcher coming out here on Franimal. Nice Dream Coil, and the... Nice Dream Coil stopping the three of them in their tracks, and of course the Surge from Darkseer helping him to get away even more so. Actually, Salty Pete coming out worst for wear out of that particular encounter.
Dream Coil saving them. The cooldown, everything was used in that fight. Although Salty Pete's still on level 4, so he doesn't have Epi up yet.
And yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, I suppose, when you do decide to run a Sand King in a safe lane, is that you won't be getting that Epicenter online until a little bit later. But they do have the reverse polarity, and Spectral has run up into the top lane. Unfortunately, there's that Observer Ward there. So they've absolutely been spotted, and barely Bear Manon not being afraid to really run back and get spotted by a rocket there. Oh dear, he's been made. He doesn't have a TP. He's got his Midas. Big skew up, big RP. We got the Soul Catcher come out.
want to mind that.
And Amri will throw down a bit of area denial in those power cogs there. Oh dear, Surge on Hawkeye, Demonic Purge going out, very nice defensive disruption, call down hitting Alex and Wasteless. Alex going down to a shockwave, Quetzal just living, very nice hook shot by Intel, Intel picking up a kill. Good grief, I cannot believe that Quetzal made it out of that one alive.
Dire's top
That
tower.
self-disruption.
You know the drill.
Very cheeky.
Dire's
and then
lost
just
the top
getting out
tower.
of there while all hell is breaking loose.
Absolutely, that was a brilliant defensive self-disruption after he'd already thrown down the Demonic Purge, he'd already thrown down the Soul Catcher. So that was very, very nice.
That vacuum in there was quite good, but unfortunately he still has no points in wall, quite low level still, so there really isn't the follow-up yet, and TA dropped quite quickly in the piece. So.
Absolutely, that Hawkeye perhaps getting a little bit cocky, seeing as how tanky the refraction had proved to be up until that point. Unfortunately, way too many sources of damage
Dire's
there, and
mid-tower won't last much
yeah,
longer.
like you said, did end up dropping quite quickly. The way that Quetzal's leveled, he's opted to put a second point into Disruption rather than 1 point into Shadow Poison just to get that vision up. It means that the illusions do last a little bit longer, both in duration and incoming damage. But yeah, not sure that that's how I personally would have done it, but you know, the proof is in the pudding, I suppose. Big old Rush Ward coming down from Alex. I've just heard a disruption in the middle lane. Nice Dream Coil. Franimal not being afraid to jump in and get out of Waning Rift, but the Burrow Strike is good. Call down coming in. Alex a little bit out of position, and Spectral just soaking up some damage while the Rocket Barrage comes out. Big RP on Wasteless. Gyro running away on Sweet Fuck All. Wasteless getting caught in the power cogs, but with the Ion Shell. Quetzal. Oh my goodness! Again with the clutch disruption there. Jeez.
Guess what's happening to Dire?
Quetzal really pushing the friendship there. Holy shit.
Gyro got very lucky in that the vacuum missed him by a hair length, and he would have got dropped by that Iron Shell that had actually hit him and brought him into the party, but he snuck away.
Absolutely. I was a little bit worried for Gyrocopter when Spectral's reverse polarity actually pulled Darkseid down that ramp, but yeah. Oh my goodness, nice hook shot there. And the oh dear, he doesn't have True Sight. Franimal jumping out of the Illusory Orb perhaps a little bit too early, and Rubik's managed to steal Battery Assault, which shouldn't be too horrible.
Might help him get a little bit of farm. He's sitting pretty raw there with wards and a boot.
Radiant's top tower.
Wasteless, about 700 gold away from the mech. What do we got here? Amriel going to be building the mech for ASG, and he is likewise about 600 gold away.
Rubik just made a disruption of Quetz, who was being a bit cheeky in the mid lane again.
Oh dear. So Rubik's absolutely got the setup spells covered now. Whole lot of WOT Gaming sort of just hanging around in the middle lane here.
Well, they don't
Not
want to lose
100%
that
sure what
last
their plan
tier 3,
is.
I expect. They've lost it on both the bottom and the top lane there.
Absolutely true. We got Barely Bear Manon having rotated around to the bottom lane, trying to get up a little bit of farm.
Oh, Rubik's in a bit of trouble in the mid lane.
Oh dear. Well, yep, we got the homing missile coming in on Alex. It's not even going to hit before the Rocket Barrage. Bit of a dream call there. Romantic not being afraid to break it. That cooldown isn't going to hit anything much. Burrow Strike in from Salty Pete, and the Epi coming out. Hawkeye getting the surge, going to make it away. Very nice RP there, and a hook shot from Intel as well. Absolutely going to clean them up. Franimal using the Illusory Orb to just escape there. Very nice.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's
The
bottom
Ascension
tower.
wasn't really that effective.
Dire's mid tower's having
The
some
mock
technical
was
difficulties. Dire's mid tower's nothing.
Absolutely, that RP was brilliant, and the hook shot in behind to meet up with the Magnus after the RP was absolutely inspired. Magnus having picked up his Blink Dagger now, which I magnificently missed.
Good play on words there. I like that. If you look at the kills, deaths, and assists,
That's
Magnus
4.
definitely had a
jeez.
good time
Yep.
of it. Mr. Pickoff there. Spectral
Yeah, that was
picking off darts
very
here,
nice.
trying